Boxers are amateurs. When you become a professional, you're a fighter. There's fighters I know, great talent, but they don't have the heart. When I get hold of that boy, I'm gonna end his career, 100%. I'm gonna wipe his face off my knuckles. Promoters suck the blood out of athletes. I hate promoters.
When that table went flying, was it towards Eddie or was it towards Dillian, or was it going to be?
All of them, all of them. It's political, and then that's how they destroy boxing.
This week on the show, we have the British heavyweight fighter, Dereck Chisora. This guy has shared the ring with the likes of David Haye, Vitaly Klitschko, and of course Tyson Fury, not once but twice. And he is old school, to say the least. He will fight anyone, anywhere, and he says he's not a boxer. He really is a fighter or a brawler. You would have known him for his antics outside the ring as much as inside the ring. He's been known for biting ears, domestic violence, and most recently throwing a table at a press conference at promoter Eddie Hearn and his opponent, Dillian Whyte, who he's working on getting a rematch with. He's offered him 1.1 million pounds and says Dillian is scared to fight him, doesn't want the rematch, and as he would say, he doesn't care about belts. He just cares about the money. Show me the green is the way that Dereck thinks. And he had a lot of great things to say about fighters. There's a lot of them out there that are athletes and they don't really have the heart of a fighter. He thinks Tyson Fury has heart. David Haye doesn't have heart. He thinks Floyd Mayweather has heart, but a lot of fighters out there really don't have it. He was born in Zimbabwe. He's got a fascinating history. And let's be honest, Dereck doesn't pull any punches. He gives it to you straight. It's a very unique London Real episode, and I think you're going to enjoy it a lot. And I am enjoying all the excitement concerning the Business Accelerator, which we're about to close out. Yes, this is your chance to turn your passion into a business so you can lead the lifestyle you want, and we model it on everything I was fortunate enough to do here at London Real, and now every day I get to hang out with cool people like Dereck, and it's a business so it runs itself so I can hang out with other cool people and do cool things like the recent premiere of our first feature film with Dorian Yates. If you want to jump in and be personally mentored by me on live calls every single week on the Business Accelerator, if you want to record revenues in the first 6 weeks, then this is the place for you, but limited spaces. This is going to be oversubscribed, so click on the link below and check it out. And now I leave you with Mr. Dereck Chisora. This is London Real. I am Brian Rose. My guest today is Dereck Chisora, the British professional boxer known for his controversy both inside and outside the ring. You held the British and Commonwealth heavyweight titles from 2010 to 2011 and the European heavyweight title from 2013 to 2014. Born in Zimbabwe, you fought the biggest names in the sport, including Vitaly Klitschko, David Haye, and Tyson Fury twice. Your last fight against Dillian Whyte, you lost on a controversial split decision that many say you won, and the rematch is now highly anticipated. Dereck, welcome to London Real.
What's happening? How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. We had King Mo in here a week ago, and he said he was training with you, and he said, I like Dereck because he's a throwback fighter. And I said, King Mo, what the hell does that mean? And he said, he'll fight anyone, anywhere, anytime.
That's the point. You know, I prefer fighting. I'm in the fighting game, and I want to fight as many times as I can right now before I retire. I don't want to sit down one day and say, I wish I fought that guy and that guy. I just want to do it right now.
Okay, so time is of the essence.
Time of the essence, exactly.
Okay. And King Mo was like, he said, I'll fight right here, right now, if you get my check. That's what King Mo said.
Oh, yeah, man. You know, when you're in a fighting game, it's more like you want to fight anytime. It don't matter if you're not fit, your mind is fit. If your body's not right, your mind is already right. So you just want to fight anytime.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a fighter. But
That's
in
a
the fight game, not everybody's a fighter.
No, exactly. You know, some guys pretend to fight. Some guys don't want to fight today and then they want to fight in 7 months' time. You know, between that, they want to be like, I'm a fighter, telling everybody they're fighters. But when it comes to it, they don't want to do the work. They don't want to fight.
I had Nigel Benn on here, and he told me, I'm not a boxer, I'm a fighter.
Yeah, boxers are amateurs. When you become a professional, you're a fighter. You know, amateurs, they box. They score for points. In the professional game, we got 12 rounds. We're not going to box, we're going to fight.
How many of your opponents are fighting you in there? Or is it hard to find? You always say, you compliment the guys that come for a fight, don't you?
I compliment, you know what, I compliment everybody else, everybody who comes in the ring, you know, because it is a hard sport to be in there. It's like, it's a gladiator sport. You know, you're in there, and the only two things you can use are your hands. You can't use anything else. You know, you have to hit the other guy, and when you're hitting him, knowing that he's going to hit you back. How are you going to react when he hits you back? You know, things like that.
Is it more about what you can take than what you can deliver?
I think it's 50-50. You know, it's about if he hits you, you hit him harder. You know, when you hit him harder, he's you know, some fighters, it's like, for an example, some fighters hit hard, that when they hit you hard, you want to walk out the ring, but you can't because there's about 10,000 people watching. When you get hit right on the sweet spot, you can either just buy your gumshoe and go ahead with it. You know, I remember when, I think it was my second professional fight, I got hit so hard. I came back to the corner, went to my trainer, I was like, this is a long night. Because what do you mean? I was like, this guy can hit. And this guy didn't want to go down. He had some big legs. So every shot I hit him with was not even bothering him. So I ended up winning the fight by points.
But you saw those legs and you knew it was going to be a long night.
Oh yeah, man, I just knew it. Even in amateurs, you tell, if you see your opponent, you just go around to his changing room. You don't even look at his face. You have to look at his calves and his legs. Then you know you're in for a long night.
And that tells you like how much he's got in the tank?
It tells you how strong he is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you do when you're in that second round situation? You just got hit in the sweet spot, and you know it's going to be a long night. What keeps you in there?
Just have to bite that gumshoe and just, whatever happens, happens. Just go for it.
Is it because you want to win, or is it because you don't want to look bad in front of all these people? Like, what's that thing?
You kind of go off your game for a bit, and then after you have to bring yourself back in the game. You know, it's like playing tennis. You know, if you lose the first 4 points, you have to regroup and then come back again.
Right.
You know.
Now, you didn't know you were a fighter until you came to England, right?
Yeah.
And you just happened to find out on the street.
It's like, you know, if you got talent, you don't really know your talent until you get to a certain age. Do you understand? It's like, for me, I've discovered my talent when I was 16. And most fighters do discover the talent when not when they're young, but when they get older, when they be mature. You know, it's like Mike Tyson, you know, same thing as Anthony, you know, we discovered his talent when he was in 17, 18.
Anthony
Joshua,
yeah. So late bloomer
yeah,
kind of.
even did in white, you understand? So
Yeah.
it's like, for those fighters who thought they had talent in boxing, you don't hear them, you don't know about them anymore because they just start boxing when they were 8 and they thought that was their talent. And then when they get to 16, they find something else and really realize boxing is not for them. So when you got talent, you find it out you don't find it early, but you find it out later on in life.
Okay. How did you find out?
Well, I went to the gym and I realized I loved it. I love boxing. And I love everything about boxing, the running, the hard work, the pain. The fighting is the easy part.
Training's the hard part?
Yeah.
Sparring's the hard part or condition?
Sparring is the easy part.
Okay.
Yeah. Sparring is just the easy part. You're going to do 12 rounds, 3 minutes, and you're right. It's the waking up in the morning, running, coming back, hitting the bag, doing the whole skipping, the whole cardio side of it. It's hard for a big guy like myself.
Do you make weight or no?
No, I don't make weight.
Okay. So that's not a problem. But you have to still watch what you eat.
I watch what I eat, but can't help myself. I'm a big guy.
And why Bellator? Why does MMA interest you a lot? Because I know you were hanging out with MVP at the press conference and King Mo and things like that. Is that something you ever considered, or do you find it fun to watch?
Yeah, it's like this, man. The world is changing. Bellator is just the same thing as the gladiators, but they're not killing anybody. But it's so brutal. Everything goes in there, punch, kicks, elbows, knees, everything goes. The only thing they're missing is swords and knives and guns. Do you understand? People want to see that kind of crap now. They want to see brutal, basically. They want to see someone get knocked out, waking up in 2 days' time. People want to see that now.
That's more brutal than boxing.
Yeah, because in boxing, you know exactly what's going to happen. In that sport, you don't know. There's 3 rounds, and each round of 4 minutes, 5 minutes. And the first 2 minutes, the first 5 minutes, the first round of the 5 minutes can be them wrestling, and then after, like, let me just knock this guy, let's go for it. I've seen some serious knockouts now.
Yeah. And head kicks and
head kicks and all that kind of stuff.
Okay, so you recognize it's the future.
It is the future, because nobody wants to see the pappy, pillow fighting no more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that the state of boxing right now?
State of boxing right now, fighters in boxing, fighters don't want to fight fighters. They want to avoid fighting fighters. They want to fight nobodies and say defend their titles by fighting nobodies, So
it's very political.
It's political, and then that's how they're destroying boxing.
Okay. Now, when you see things like the Bellator and, like, say, the UFC, for example, the best usually fight the best in those organizations, right?
Yeah, because you see, in UFC and Bellator, they got this rule: if you lose a fight, it don't matter. As long as you can fight and generate the viewers to come and watch you fight, it don't matter. But in boxing, it's more like if you lose a fight, you're downgraded. Your ranking is going down. I've lost 7 fights. When I lost fights, on my 5th fight, people are telling me you should retire. I'm like, no, what should I retire for? Because I lost 5? See, this is the ignorance of people in boxing, because they think if you lost 5, you can't box anymore. So this is why it's different, Bellator and UFC and boxing. In boxing, you lose a fight. If you're number 1, you're probably going to go to number 6, and you work your way back up.
So the future's kind of with MMA and just recognizing that exciting fights are the place to be.
Yeah, if boxing wants to be exciting fights, they should just say, you know what, so-and-so should fight so-and-so, the public want to watch it, but fighters don't want to do that. The promoters are so scared. They're like, no, if we do that, we're going to lose our TV rights and this and this.
Right.
It's all crap.
So you see all that behind-the-scenes stuff that the public doesn't see a lot of times, right?
The public see it. Remember the golden era of boxing was when Lennox Lewis was around fighting, Mike Tyson and things like that, Riddick Bowe and places, people like that. They used to love fighting. If you're a world champion in London, you want to fight a world champion in America to prove yourself you're the best. But really and truly, they keep tweeting saying, oh, so-and-so is going to fight, so-and-so. We're waiting to sort it out, and then they're not sorting it out. So-and-so is fighting so-and-so, and so-and-so is fighting so-and-so, but it's nonsense.
You kind of wish there was like a Bellator or UFC that would just say, okay, you guys fight now, no matter what.
Yeah, but with those sports, you know, there's only one belt. But in boxing, there's about 5 different belts.
Yeah.
You know, you can be a world champion in London. There'll be another world champion, the IBF, WBC. You know, this is all like world champions. But if there was one belt, you see great fights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you had an interview I saw recently, you talking to someone, and they're talking about this Dillian White rematch.
Yeah.
And, you know, someone's like, oh, world title, and you said, fight me, you make money. A world title doesn't pay the bills. That's what you're saying.
It don't.
And he knows that.
He knows that.
And you're like, fight the title, you get 60 grand. Fight me, you get $500,000 or $1 million.
Yeah. That's that. It's like that. It's like, you know what? He's saying he wants to go for a world title. Great, go for a world title. You know, I'm not a big believer of getting a world title and I'm the best thing ever. No, I believe about making money right now. You know, if I don't win a world title, if I make so much money, I'll be fine. You know, because it's about making the bread. You know, there's no need of you having the wheat and you don't have the oven to make the bread. Do you understand? I'm the oven. You know, I make the money. So if he wants to make money, he's going to fight me. His next purse, I'll be honest with you, his next purse probably about 50 grand. Right. He fights me, he's going to get him also 900,000 or $1 million.
Yeah, you said you need people like me to sell a rematch. You need people like me for pay-per-view numbers.
Of course, I bring the pay-per-view out.
It reminds me of the UFC and Conor McGregor. You know, he's this crazy Irish star, and he had a loss last year, and he's still making this big money because people have all the eyes on him. And it seems like you're recognizing the same thing, right? People want to see rematches.
You see, it's like this, man. If you look at Conor McGregor, you know, since Westlife is the biggest thing come out of Dublin, to be honest with you. So they have to support him, you know, and what he's doing for himself and doing for the Irish public, it's amazing. You know, this is why UFC want to grab hold of him, because if he leaves the UFC and go to boxing, there's nothing else in the UFC. Ronda Rousey's out, who they got, and half of the people in the UFC are leaving, going to Bellator, from what I'm hearing. You know, and it's just a hard point to put across. Do you understand?
But people want to watch him, right?
People want to watch him. You know, they want to watch him. They want to watch him win. They want to watch him lose. You know, it's I remember an article I was reading time ago when people used to go to watch Muhammad Ali. You know, some will pay to go watch him lose, but he will never lose. Do you understand? Some people will pay to watch him to get knocked out, but you never get knocked out. You know, and I think the same thing with McGregor.
He understands there's like a spectacle there, and that's why people want to
spectacle there. You know, when he's fighting, his press conferences are sold out. He says what he wants to say. Well, actually, you can just call him the the white version of Muhammad Ali in that sport, because he talks so much crap.
Yeah. So you respect his press conference game?
Hey, listen, I respect his press conference game. I don't know if he pays any fines, but I pay so many fines when I do things like that.
Because your press conference game is pretty strong.
Yeah, my situation is, don't say anything that's gonna piss me off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you pissed off in that situation, usually the press conference?
No, I'm not.
Okay, but it just gets that way.
He gets that way, yeah.
Okay. And is that because the guys don't know? Is it because the guys aren't fighters and they're kind of actors and they're just talking this stuff up and then it just gets
you see, there's some people who talk, and by talking, the thing is just finishing by talking. But, you know, I talk and I want to do. Understand? If someone says, you know, I'll fight you right now, I'm like, that's silly, man. Let's do it now then. And when you say let's do it now, they're like, oh, what am I going to do now? Somebody has to hold us now because we can't do this now. You know?
But then you're already in the red zone.
I'm already in the red zone.
Okay.
And you always tell people don't want to fight now, because one minute they want to take the jacket off, they want to take the watch off. No, you don't take nothing off. You just go for it, man. There's no need of you taking things off.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, when you threw that table in the Dillian White conference, I didn't even see that coming. It just went, you know?
Oh, yeah. It just gets to a point you just have to lose it.
But also that does sell fights, and you're about money fights.
That was not about me selling the fight.
Yeah, I believe you.
It was about somebody just talking crap.
Okay, you probably heard a little bit from him before.
No, I don't mind. You see, the thing is, what people misunderstand is, when you talk fight talk, I love banter talk. You know, you can tell me anything about my fighting game, fine. But when you start threatening my life, then it becomes a problem.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
And he was saying things about outside the fight, outside the ring, I'm gonna come looking for you.
Yeah, there's no need for that.
Okay,
you know?
obviously.
Yeah, there's no need for that. You know, we're not gangsters, we're athletes. You know, talk to me nicely about my fight game, I don't mind. I'll laugh about that with you. But start telling me you're gonna come look for me after the fight, then it's a problem.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I think he got the point that day.
He got the point, yeah. He knows.
And what about before that? David Hay, you had some epic press conferences with Hay.
Oh,
he was in the audience. Is that because he was taunting you from the audience?
No, it's not. You know what? It was just one of those things. To be honest with you, with David Hay, I just lost the world title, WBC World Championship. I was like everybody now telling me I have to start from the back again. My next paycheck is, you're not going to be big as what I want it to be. And then David Hay was in there, and I just went for it.
Right.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't even see what was happening. Then Adam Booth was in there too. And
yeah, it just went off.
It all went off.
Got arrested after that as well.
You did. Okay.
Yeah.
How many fines have you paid?
So many.
Okay. But worth it, or it's just you being you?
To be honest with you, I don't even look at it no more. I just if he goes in, he's gonna come back in again. Right. You know, somebody has to keep the British border control going.
Somebody's got to make them exciting, right?
Exactly.
You were born in Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
And you were there till 16, you said?
Yeah.
What's that like?
What, growing in Africa?
Yeah, or Zimbabwe too, yeah. And Africa and all that, you know?
Listen,
it was Rhodesia for a while, right?
Yeah, well, no, when I was there, it was Zimbabwe, basically. Okay. Still the same president, still going on strong, I believe. It's always a situation of if the president is not doing what our countries want him to do, they say he's a bad president. The economy is bad. But if we stand right now, I believe that Zimbabwe, we're the most educated Africans in the world. We're the most richest in the world. You know, we own one of the biggest platinum mines in the world. We own the biggest gold factories. We got gold, diamonds, we got everything, what everybody wants. And I saw when we grow stuff also is much better than any other continent in Africa, basically. So I think we're all right. You know, for my childhood growing up in Zimbabwe, did I enjoy it? Yes, I loved it. It made me who I am right now.
You went to private school?
Yeah.
In Winston, right?
No, in Churchill.
Oh, Churchill, right,
yeah.
Okay. And what was that like?
It was great. It was all boys school. I was concentrating on rugby and cricket. I never used to play rugby. I never played cricket, but I used to just go and support my friends who were playing rugby and cricket. And that was it. We enjoyed it.
And people think, so when Mugabe doesn't do what other countries want him to do, they say he's a bad guy.
Yeah, but before that, he was a great guy, you know, coming, taking Rhodesia from Rhodesia to Zimbabwe, you know, and putting a great education system in there. And now he's the bad guy.
Okay, but internally, you're saying the country is still wealthy, it's still...
certain things have to be changed, but they'll change itself one day.
Okay, so don't believe all the press and the hype.
Don't believe all the hype, basically, yeah.
Do you go back often, and what's it like?
Still the same.
Okay.
Black people and white people living there, and Indians. Lifestyle's okay. It's not great, it's okay. Things are all right, you know. Today, if they say the people can come back to Zimbabwe, I think 95% of the population left Zimbabwe that would go back.
Okay. Why is that?
Because the lifestyle is great. You know, everybody that speaks English, Sean and Debele, it's just nice. One day if you want to go there, let me know. It's just nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even white people who left Zimbabwe, if you tell them, would you go back? They'll tell you yes. In a heartbeat, they would.
Okay. But what, they can't?
They can go back now. They can go back now, but no idea why they don't want to go back.
Okay. There was a good movie called The White African about like a white person in Zimbabwe and talking about the farms and all that stuff.
Oh yeah, man, it's just great. You get, even in South Africa, you get guys who grew up there, and then if you tell them, oh, you need to go back to Europe, they'll tell you, no, I'm African.
Yeah.
Which is nice. I like that.
Yeah, it's good. It's
Yeah.
good. Why'd you come to England? And was that a bit of was that culture shock, or was it kind of the same?
No, man, I remember the first time I came here. I came in January, and everything was gray and cold. And I told my mother, like, listen, I can't do this, man. This is cold. She goes, no, let's give you a chance. Like, gave you a chance, and then I ended up staying. It was freezing.
And you never boxed in Zimbabwe? So all happened here,
never
right?
boxed, nothing. Became very fat. Then I went to the gym, met John Oliver, and John Oliver and Jim Oliver, God rest his soul, he died. Those were the trainers of Finchley Boxing Club.
Okay.
And Joe Smythe, actually, yeah.
Okay. And did they look after you? Did they sense some talent in you?
For a beginning, I was not really interested in boxing. Until one day, after I've been going there for about a year, I woke up one day, I was just sitting in my house. I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it all I got in boxing. And then I woke up, I think I was not driving then. I woke up at 6 o'clock on a Saturday actually, got on the bus, went to Finchley, waited outside the gym from like 6:30 to 7:30 when they opened the doors to take us running in Trent Park. And they were surprised I was there. And there was just two kids, the fastest runners in the gym. And I said, whatever happens today, I have to beat one of these guys. When I came up the hill, I was second, and I collapsed. I remember that day. That's when I knew, yeah, I'm gonna be very good at boxing, because I gave it all on that run. I left everything on that run. Even the trainers were surprised to see me come up the hill. They thought they were gonna see a bunch of little white boys coming up. And next minute, they see a big black guy coming up. They're like, what? They're like, go on, Dereck.
How old were you?
I think I was about 17 or 18.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then that flipped a switch, and you're like...
Flipped the switch.
Okay.
And then from then, I didn't look back.
Okay. Because you knew you were good at it, but you also had to cultivate that talent.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And I went to swim for it.
Do you see guys coming up that have talent and just don't have the work ethic?
Yeah. You see, in boxing, it don't matter. You might, there's a guy who was coming out on TV, old school fighter, I forgot his name actually. He goes, in boxing, you can have the best jab, you can have the best 1-2, but if you don't have this, there's no point for you being in a ring. There's fighters I know, great talent, but they don't have the heart. If you have heart and you can't hit properly, you'll make it. Because your heart will just tell you, you know what, let's just eat let's just eat the leather, but let's just hit this guy too. Most fighters don't have the heart. Most fighters are only in there for the sake of being on Facebook, say they box on their profile. But when it comes to the time to fight, they come up with excuses. Oh, I don't feel well, coach. Can we postpone this fight until next month? I'm going through family difficulties. But on the other hand, a guy like myself would be like, when is the fight? Are you serious? Let's go with it. Let's go for it. And
that heart gets you through the times in the ring where you're getting clocked, but that's the heart that also gets you up in the morning at 6 a.m.
It's just no fear for no man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Who else do you see that in fighters, in history or even today?
I see that in one of my very good friends, Tony Bellew. He's fighting David Haye in the next in 1 week time. From coming from a lighter weight, coming into the heavyweight division. That's what you call heart. It's bravery, it's heart. He's got it. He's got a mentor in him. He's either David Haye knocks him out cold or he's gonna get up and fight. you know. And who else has got heart like that? You know, certain fighters I know. Chris Eubank's got heart because he likes to go in and have a tear up, you know. Junior, he's got heart. Every time he watches fight, he's have a chucking 20 combination punch. He backs off, he gets tired, he regroups again, he goes for it again. You know, he's a guy who wants to fight.
Okay.
Yeah, even my gypsy friend, Tyson Fury, you know, fights and he likes to fight. You understand?
Yeah.
You see things like that, you can't walk in the gym and get that. You're either born with it or you're not born with it, you know, do you understand?
Yeah.
And those fighters I was mentioned there, they have got that.
Do you think they have that because something bad happened to them when they were kids, or?
Yeah, it's not something bad happened to them when you were kids. It's just like, it's like you're on it. You know, it's like there's a dark room there. You don't know what's in there, but you're just gonna go in there, shut the door and just fight whatever's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what the public really wants to see, right? Do you think that's what, was that why like Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank had that rivalry? Because both of those guys...
They had heart. Yeah.
And the public knows that over time, don't they?
They know that, but they wanted to see who's willing to go to the end. Do you understand? Get knocked out the ring, come back in the ring and just let's go. You know? They want to see that. You know, it's like some people when they get knocked out, you can see they got a chance to get up, but they don't want to get up. They're scared to get up because they've given up. You know, there's fighters you've seen get knocked out, and you're like, get up. The ref is counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're still down on their knees. They can look at the ref. The ref knows this guy don't want to fight, but he's going to stare at counting. By the time he gets up to 8, the ref calls him, do you want to fight? And he goes, no. You can see him no, shaking his head, and the ref goes, no more. And then he'll be like, thank God I'm out of that fight now. You know? It's just certain fighters are just born differently.
Yeah. But when there's two guys with heart in the ring, that's what makes these big fights and big rivalries.
Big time, 100%.
Would you rather fight a guy with heart or not?
I'd rather fight a guy with heart.
Okay.
100%. Because he's gonna bring the better off you, and you're gonna bring the better off him.
Okay.
You know, you fight a guy with no heart, you hit him, bum bang. He's gonna feel the power, and he's gonna, you know, I'm gonna survive another round. If I get hit in the body, I'm just gonna drop down and get my money and go home.
Okay. So bad fight, boring fight, doesn't bring the best in you.
Exactly. So the reason why me and Dillian's fight was great, yeah. You know, when Dillian was training, he thought I was not going to turn out. But when I went in the ring, in the first round, I surprised him. I looked him in the eyes, and he thought I was joking. Surprised him. In the first minute, he was already bleeding from his mouth.
Did you say something to him?
No.
Okay, but he felt it.
He said some stuff. Oh, I don't use my jab, I don't use this. First thing I hear him was 2 strong jabs. He went back, and he goes, oh, Jesus, I'm in for a fight. Then we start going to work. That was not the game plan. My trainer was telling me, go in there and box him. I don't need to box nobody. I'm there to fight. If we have the rematch, it's going to be worse than the first one. You're going to have to drag him off my knuckles by the time I finish with him.
David Haye, does he have heart?
David Haye, I don't know. You know, he hasn't got heart. No, David Haye hasn't got heart.
After the fight, he said good things about you. He said if he hadn't been in the best shape, you would have gotten the better of him.
Yeah, but really and truly talking about, precisely about a guy who's got heart.
Yeah.
You look at it with certain numbers of fights. Yeah. When he boxed, what's his name? When he got knocked out in his first knockout.
Yeah, I was actually at that fight.
Yeah.
It was early in his career. It was at Wembley, yeah. I forgot his name, but yeah, I was there.
He knocked Enzo out, and then he knocked Mormac out to become the
Yeah.
Cruiserweight undisputed champion.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
was at the Mormac fight too.
Okay. And then he boxed Value for the WBO, whatever it was called, yeah. Anyone could easily beat a Value if you just have the right game plan, keep touching him for 12 rounds and keep running away. Even my own daughter won that fight, playing tag with that guy. And he defended his title with Audley Harrison. Audley Harrison ain't got a heart. We both know that. And then, after Audley Harrison, he was chasing the Klitschko fight hard. When he was given the Klitschko fight, he played games. This is the world stage. For the last year and a half, you've been talking hype. You've been talking what you're going to do, what you're going to do so-and-so. You're going to fight so-and-so. This is how you're going to do so-and-so. And come to the right time to perform on the stage, he chickened out. Broken toe and unbroken toe, man. When you walk in the ring getting paid millions, that toe better be fine. Don't come out and give us excuses.
You didn't like the toe excuse. I don't think anyone did.
You see, every time I lost a fight, I never blamed it on me overweight or something like that. I'll say the great man won today. He trained harder than me. He boxed better than me. He won. Gave it 2 excuses. I knew when he didn't want to fight in the first round when he got hit with a straight jab. Right on the button. Remember I told you, that jab makes you want to run out the ring, and that's the one he got given. I saw that. When I saw that, and then the camera zoomed in on a slow play motion, and I saw his eyes watery a little bit, I said to everybody, like, he's chickened out. They're like, no, he hasn't. I'm telling you, from now on, he's not going to chuck any punch because he don't want to get hit with that same jab. He ain't got heart.
No heart.
Yeah.
So Tyson Fury has it. Dillian has some heart.
Yeah.
Okay. Hay doesn't. Klitschko's?
Well, Klitschko's, yeah, because he's a champion and he'll fight anybody, except for me. He didn't want to fight me because he came out with excuses. He said he was ill, so give him the benefit of the doubt, he was ill. But when he got to fight Tyson, he stepped up, he fought Tyson. He lost his belts like a man. He said, I could not land my jab, so I could not land my right hand. He's got heart.
Okay.
Yeah.
And anyone else in these ranks? What about
Tony Bully's got heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? What do you make of Shannon Briggs?
Oh, Shannon Briggs. You have to give credit to Shannon Briggs. He's one of the old school fighters out there, and the way Shannon Briggs got beautiful left hooks, and his selection of punches is very good. So you have to give credit to him, man. He's definitely got heart. I watched him box the older brother of Vladimir in Germany. That's when his career was getting destroyed, because for 12 rounds he didn't have anything in the tank, but he kept on getting hit and hit and hit, and he ended up being in hospital for about 2 weeks to recovering.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's a lot of fun, isn't he, Shannon Briggs?
Shannon Briggs is a lot of fun, man. This is why I say he hands on got heart. When Shannon Briggs came here, he slapped David Hay. David Hay didn't react. See, David Hay ain't got heart. Do you understand? You think someone slapped me while I'm sitting in my own neighborhood, in my own country? You think he's going to get away with that? I would have destroyed Shannon Briggs for slapping me. I do the slapping. I don't know, nobody slaps me. But David Hay was supposed to do something. All he did was just talking.
Yeah. Shannon flew over just to do that, right?
Exactly. But David Hay didn't see that.
And is David going to have a few more fights? And,
he has to.
He has to, for the money? And
yeah.
I knew David about 10 years ago. He used to train at the Third Space, in Piccadilly Circus. And, but yeah, he always struck me as a guy who, physical, learned how to train boxing. But I didn't know if it was, I thought it was a career for him, as opposed to, I want to fight.
You don't want to fight, man. You don't want to fight.
Say we get this Dillian White rematch this year, and you win. What's next for Dereck Chisora? I think I'll just do my rematches with every fight I lost to.
I will probably fight. If the rematch happens, yeah, I'm good friends with Tony Bellew. I said, Tony, we should do it. Me and you're in a heavyweight game now. We should do it. There's no need of Tony going back down to cruiserweight. He's going to stay out now.
Okay. Well, you're going to fight him?
Yeah, I'll fight him.
But you're good friends with him.
Yeah, it don't matter. It's business, it's business. But he's my buddy, though. You know, me and Tony, we used to train together in the England team. We used to spar together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you spar anymore?
Yeah. I was with him last week Friday, and I'll be with him this Friday.
So it'd just be like you get paid a lot of money to spar.
Basically. Be a good fighter. He hits hard, though, Tony.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'd want a rematch Tyson Fury 3?
Tyson Fury 3 is going to happen.
What happens in that fight?
Well, train hard for it, and I'm going to stop him.
Okay.
He knows that. You know, me and Tyson are very good friends. You know, one thing me and him respect on each other. He's always told me, you know what, Dereck, every time I had to fight you, you never backed out. Even when I had a broken hand, I took time off, came back and fought him. So every time I'm having a fight, he ever flies over to see me, and then he hangs out with me for a bit, and then I saw him in Manchester again. He comes and says hello and stuff like that.
Okay.
So there's no bad blood there. There's only two guys want to fight.
Right. Okay. Does it make it easier or harder when there's no bad blood?
It's just a fight. I don't need bad blood. You know, when you're in the ring, it's gonna happen.
Mm. Okay. David Haye 2. What happens there?
That's if he takes the fight. You know, I'm be knocking David Haye out. He has to take the fight. He has to win this fight. It's going in the next 2 weeks, in a week and a half.
Against Tony.
Yeah.
Vitaly Klitschko 2. What happens?
I don't know, but we have to get him out of retirement. He's running his country down to the dust, so we have to get him out of politics.
And what about Anthony Joshua? Is that something that might happen?
That will happen.
It will happen?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think by beginning of next year.
How many fights you got until you're done?
Mate, listen, if I had to fight on, I'm 50, man. I'm going, man. I'm going for it. See, there's no... You know, fighters, we fight for the sake of their adrenaline. You can't buy what you get when you're about to fight. You know, there's no drug, there's nothing. It's that in you, you know, the nerves are kicking in. You know, the adrenaline is pumping in. You know, 1 minute you want to go to the toilet and then you come out like, you come out of the toilet like, you know what, I need to go back in the toilet. You go in the back. It's just unbelievable. In the dressing rooms, like, you know, for my next fight, what I'll do is for the public to see how everything is done. I'm actually going to put, from the moment I announce my fight, a week before, I put cameras around my house so they can see what's going on in my mind, how am I coping with the pressure of the fight. Cameras in my car and cameras in my gym. So basically, those are the three things I'll be doing. My house, my car, and the gym. So they see everything what's happening, build up to the fight. Because I think the public want to see that situation, what happens between when you know in the ring and stuff, like how you cope, you know.
What are they going to see that last week?
You get to see things you don't expect to see, because I think most people think when there's a fighter is training for a fight, he goes around, you know, screaming, shouting, or punching things. No, you don't get to see that. You get to see a totally different person.
Are you calm that week?
Mate, you can hear a needle dropping in my house.
How do you feel?
See, you fight the fight in different ways. You know, you either going to be fighting in the 10th round, like, I'm about to get to the 10th round, how am I going to do the 10th round? You know, son, you hit me, you rocked, you're on the floor. How are you going to get off the floor, and what punch are you going to chuck when he knocks you down, when you get up from the count? You know, things like that.
So that's going through your brain?
That's going through your brain.
Okay.
And half of the time, people never listen to their corners when he gets on top. Because your coach is talking to you. You're trying to get your body to calm down and get ready for the next round. You know, this is why your coach, when you see a coach come to a fighter and telling him instructions the moment the fighter sits down, it's a lie. The fighter is not taking that in. A coach has to talk to a fighter 10 seconds before he goes out.
Okay, that's what he'll remember.
That's what he'll remember when he's walking out. The moment when he sits down, the first thing he's asking for, where's my water? Get this out. You know, put a cold towel on top of me, because your body is overheating, it's in overdrive right now. It's going down. You know.
Do you listen to your corner?
Sometimes.
Not against Dillian, though, right? You hit him with that jab twice.
Oh man, listen, that was a fight game. Even my trainer knew that. My Don knew that. He saw that. When they said that, they said to me, 10 seconds, you'll be out. I was like, fine. Dressed up, walked out. When I walk out, he knew.
He knew what you were going to do?
Yeah.
Okay. And so that last week before the fight, we would see, well, we probably couldn't read your mind, but you'd be thinking, what do I do in the 10th round if I get knocked out? What am I going to throw? And so you're piecing it through your mind as it gets closer.
You're piecing everything, the bad and the good.
Okay.
You know, what kind of speech am I going to give if I get interviewed, you know? Am I going to jump on the ropes when I win? You know, am I going to wave at the public when I walk in? Or, you know, you're piecing everything in the mind. When I arrive in my dressing room, I want to sit on this position, and I start warming up at this time, get my hands wrapped at this time. You have to piece those things in your mind, because if you don't, a little thing can take you off guard.
Continue watching this fascinating conversation for free by clicking on the link below to visit our website, and I'll see you on the inside.
Are you ready to go where I want to go? Because some people just want to fight and then think it ends there. It never ends there with me. It can either end there for now, and if I drive, I see you in the car park, it's on again.